Hello there, Morons. It's Victor. Give me a break, man. Give me a flake, man. And this is a laundry video, which means if you're new to the channel, which 50% of you are, it's very strange. Yeah, according to my analytics, 50% of the people who watch my videos are strangers to the channel. So, a laundry video is a video where you don't actually have to watch if you don't want to. I'll do my best to make this more of a podcast. However, for those of you who are interested in Japan, I will be walking around a new neighborhood. I try to pick new neighborhoods as often as possible to show you what's happening. You'll see the people here, see the sights. And yeah, so this is my introduction. Today we're gonna be talking about the YouTube, how YouTube works, my Japanese level, my experiences in Tokyo in the last few days, because I went to the YouTube, what do they call it, conference. It's called Creator Day. So I'm gonna turn the camera around so you don't have to stare at me the whole time. And I'll be showing you, I'll be showing you what I see, you know, and you'll be hearing my voice over as I walk around. I may interrupt myself occasionally to point something out. And I will be using an iPhone 6S. Right now I'm using the inner camera, which is a little less quality. So actually when I turn it around or use the other camera, it'll be better. And I'm also using a new mic. As you guys know, I do my best to try to improve these videos as often as possible. That's what I use a lot of the Patreon money for. The other half of the money I use on liquor. Just kidding. No, I use it all to try to improve the channel. Anyway, that's enough of the intro. Let's turn around and start talking. Almost seamless transition there. So this neighborhood, you might notice if you watched my video on going to the Hirabari train station. I mean Hirabari DMV the other day to get my driver's license renewed. You might recognize that over there. Nothing over there. But, right now I have a problem. I just drank this can of coffee and there's nowhere to throw it away. See? Oh, there is one back there. And it's in a very inconvenient spot. How do I do this? And there we go. That's so people can't just come off the street and throw it away. Anyway. So this is, I think I'm not sure what the nearest subway station is here. I think it's Gokiso. There's an Eikaiwa school there. So we're going to take a back street because it's a little more interesting. But as you can see, I'll tell you what, we'll just walk around. Let's go down here underneath. Most of these restaurants are probably not open yet. Maybe some of them are. You get to see a little bit of a typical Japanese atmosphere here. Okay, so today is September, what is it, 6th, it's a Tuesday, and I'm back at work. I had a great weekend. I went to Tokyo for 2 days. The third was Creator Day. Creator Day is if you're involved in YouTube at all. If you're a YouTube maker and you have 1,000 subs or so or higher, but you're not giant yet, then they have this new thing called Creator Day where they help you. They just give you seminars and try to help you increase your viewership and use YouTube smarter, things like that. Hi guys, this is a revolving platform where people drive in here. It revolves and it helps cars get into this building. This is a parking tower. Whoa, I don't know how many cars are in there. How many cars fit in there? I wonder. I wonder if it says. Well, you can see right here, 32 cars. Yeah, 32 cars fit in that thing. So that's a very efficient use of space. Anyway, so that was the YouTube thing. Now, there were two seminars. One of them was in English, and one of them was in Japanese. And I was the Robin to Hiko Simon's Batman. Hiko Simon is my 2.5 Oyaji partner. He's the good-looking one of the two. I'm the brains behind the or is it the other way around? I don't remember. Anyway, every Saturday night at 11 p.m. we do something called 2.5 Oyajis. It's a live show. And for some reason, YouTube has reached out to us to help guide the smaller YouTubers. We're by no means giant YouTubers. If anything, we're middle tier, maybe even lower middle tier YouTubers. But we've been around a while. And we've got no lives, so YouTube reached out to us and asked us to give a couple seminars. Actually, most of the people, I guess, are middle tier YouTubers except for Megwin, who's huge. I heard there's other people who are involved in this. I don't know who the other ones are. I heard Michaela was one of them, but I think she might be too busy, or she was asked to be. I don't know. Ideally, you know, the best people to ask would be people like Rachel and June or Charla, but honestly, I think they're just too busy. It's just, there's not really much point in doing this. It's kind of a volunteer job, to be honest. Not to say that I'm at all, ooh, butterfly, at all complaining, because it is a lot. It's a really great experience. Look at those two butterflies following each other. It's a really great experience, and I do learn a lot myself. And actually, I learn a lot by giving these. I'm sure Hiko Simon did as well. Little things that you can do to tweak your YouTube to make it better. Now, at these seminars, I give away these little gift bags with notebooks and I don't know what's in there. I think a cookie, 2 notebooks and a cookie. And you just listen to Hiko Simon and I go through these graphs that they've prepared and explain how to make your YouTube better. The first one was in English, like I said. The second one was in Japanese, and I think interestingly enough, let's go down another street. That'll be more interesting. Interestingly enough, I think the Japanese one actually went off better for 2 reasons. One of them, well, no, for one reason alone, and that's that we learned from our mistakes in the first one, and we were able to actually kind of get our thoughts together better. Whenever you do any kind of lecture or speech or whatever, it's always better the second time. Practice makes perfect. So whenever you're doing anything, and this goes not just for giving speeches or or presentations, but also for teaching. If you're a teacher and you teach a class, if you teach the same class 2 or 3 times, you'll notice you just get better and better, and you find out what works. It's a little bit like stand-up comedy, as you know. I've dabbled in that, and the more often you give a performance, you know, you learn what works and what doesn't. So repetition does help quite a bit, and that's how you learn. Anyway, the first group was about, let me see, about 30 people or so. The second group was also about the same, but it was supposed to be double. A lot of Japanese just didn't show up on the last day, which I thought was kind of weird that you would sign up for something, because Japanese are famous or infamous for not doing, let's just go look in here, see if we see any interesting bugs. Japanese are famous for not doing things like that. If they say they're going to show up, they show up, usually. But on this particular occasion, we had 80 people signed up, and I think only about half that came. And they were very interesting. They were much more, in a way, they were much more interesting than the foreigners, because the foreigners are mostly just J-vloggers, meaning we all pretty much do the same kind of stuff. This is my life in Japan. What do you think? You know, kind of presenting our situations. There's just a moth. Sometimes you find huge grasshoppers or things, but nothing here. Ooh, and I'm starting to sweat. It's supposed to rain today. Anyway, so probably looks strange walking around in an empty lot like this. So the second group, however, for example, they had 2 people two different YouTubers who were interested in filming things like military air warplanes, or another guy filmed, he liked introducing like police cars and fire stations and things like that, things that you wouldn't necessarily think to make a whole channel based on, right? Oh, they're going to build something here. So this is a Shinto shrine. Shiki. Konnichiwa. 式も終わりましたか？式終わりました。本当？はい。ちょっとだけビデオ撮っていいですか？式。アメリカにいる友達。どうぞどうぞ。こういうことはアメリカでないからね。これすごいですね。そうそう。今朝だった？今朝午前中にやって。これ何のためですか？これ見たことないな。これは地震の儀って言ってすいません。休み中。今昼ご飯食べてる。こういう状態で、で釜で山を切って平地にして家を建てるっていう流れの儀式。難しい、見たことないね。 僕の上、うちの僕は一軒には持ってるんだけど、僕のうちの手前でね、同じことやったんだけど、でも全部カーテンだったあったから。
ああ、カーテンやってるとこ多いですね。これが山の木。
お坊さんじゃないよね。あれなんていうの？
あれは神主さん。
神主。それは神主だ。
儀式自体が
言葉知ってるんだけど、これどういう意味か。そういう神主だ。
お坊さんはお寺で。
そうですね。
これは神社になる。
そう。
コンピラとかになります。
神主っていう。
神主さ
ん。で、シコは全部で何分ぐらいかかりますか？
参加人数によりますけど1時間ぐらいで大体。
すごい。じゃあ少しずつ勉強になるからありがとう。
いえいえ、とんでもない。
友達にいつも聞かれるから分かんない僕も日本に住んでるのに。こういうこと使うんだ。
一緒に1回あるかないか。
いつか見たいな。すいませんでした。
いえいえ、とんでもないです。
ありがとうございます。So they're going to build a building here. They start construction very soon, probably almost immediately. They level it out and then they create that tent there. And the Shinto priest comes and he's called a kanushi. And look at this place looks like it should be leveled. He's a kanushi and that's what they call priest. Obo-san is for oteras or temples. Kanushi is for the shrine, and I've heard that word a bunch of times, but I didn't realize that's what they were talking about. I thought it was a guy like the groundskeeper or something. I think the Kanushi, because if you look at the kanji, it looks like something like the guy in charge, but I didn't realize it meant like the priest. What do you know? I don't really, as you can tell, I don't really know much about shrines and those particular words, very special words they use to describe that kind of stuff. I go in there for you guys, by the way. So. YouTube has really helped me become less shy because I know that you guys want to know things like that and want to see me interacting, or in a way interact yourselves with the people around here. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. So they just let's wrap that up real quick. The ceremony, what the Shinto kanushi or priest does is he goes in there and they have a ceremony. It lasts about an hour. Depending on the number of people. They have that mound that looks like a little sand hill there, and they put in that green twig that you saw, and then he cuts it down. It's ceremonial, just to say, look, we're gonna cut this down and then we're gonna build here. So they're gonna build right here. It's kind of just ceremonial. They do that kind of ceremony, I guess it's called. I don't know. I'm sure there's much more to it, but you get the idea. That's what they do with that. I've never seen it inside that. I've seen those tents all over the place, but it's usually curtained off. You don't usually see it open like that. So I always wondered what was inside. I'd always see the priests walk in with his funny shoes and such. They wear very specific clothing. Okay, but let's get back to the conversation at hand. So the Japanese YouTubers were a lot shyer, but there were more variation to them. Some of them were specifically like comedians, which you don't really see in the Japanese side. There are, of course, people like Ozzy, the most awesome channel, Ozzy. I forgot his real channel name, but I just know him as Ozzy, so he's my friend. So he's got a comedy channel. So there's quite a few YouTubers who do that. That's all they do, and that's basically their personality. Let's see. Oh, what's going on over here? Little lanterns are hanging out here. Maybe it's a izakaya or something? I don't know. Maybe nothing. Maybe just... Oh, it looks like they have a refrigerator here, so they must serve... they serve food here, it looks like. But it seems to be closed right now. Fumi no yu. Oh, not sure what that is. But quite festive. Anyway. Now at the YouTube space where that was held in Roppongi Hills on the 29th floor, the rules there are pretty strict. You can only take 1-minute videos at a time and post those. You can't take anything longer than 1 minute. If it's longer than 1 minute, it has to be approved by the YouTube staff, and that's a big pain in the ass. So actually I don't even enjoy filming there anymore unless I have a specific reason, like I want to use one of their setups. They have an amazing what do you call it, haunted mansion setup. Every few months they change it. They had a police station a few months ago, now it's a haunted mansion. So what they do is they create sets there and they let YouTubers come in and use them. But they have quite a few rooms, and the room we were in, it was basically the open space room, and they were doing the conference there. And the second one in Japanese, I was pretty nervous because I don't usually talk about things like that, and I'm not acquainted with the language that you need to use to talk about that. So I really had no idea what to say or how to explain that stuff. Like it's different. It's difficult if you don't know the words. I know the word in English, analytics, for example, but is it the same? And even numbers like the amount of views is different. I've got to learn how to say the amount of views. I can't just, saisei kazu, I guess is the word. But those are words that I don't usually use. I just say views. Even subscriber, Todokusha, even Hiko Simon, whose Japanese is quite a bit better than mine. He was like, how do you say this and how do you say that? And a couple kanji that popped up in the slide that he wasn't sure how to pronounce. I think Simon and I together would probably be almost a perfect Japanese. Because my kanji reading is pretty good. But I don't speak Japanese in my daily life as much as he does, except with my wife. So he uses it in business every day, so he's much better that way. I'm quite jealous that he has that opportunity. But anyway, at the party, or at the presentation, I was pretty nervous, but it seemed to be okay. And at the end, a lot of people came up and said thank you, and they said it was very helpful. And even people that I expected shit from, like Jake Knowlton, I expected him to give me shit or something, but he was like, oh, that was actually better than the English one. It's nice of him. It's always nice to be surprised in a good way by your friends that you expect to rag on you, right? In a good way, I mean, I expect to get a little ribbing from Jake. Anyway, and they had a bunch of nice food out there. I guess I should do another video just showing what happened there. With lots of good food, hamburgers and sandwiches, and the Japanese group had vegetable wraps or things like that. What else? I don't remember. Croissant sandwiches. It was all good. It was all very, very delicious. And free drinks and all. So they've had about 500 of these around the world right now. For YouTubers from 1,000 to 10,000 viewers. Though depending on the country, it's possible to get in even if you don't have the 1,000 subscribers. I'm sorry. So originally the Creator Days, which is what this is called, is supposed to be for people who have 1,000 to 10,000 subs. Of course, if you have more, you can get in there. But it's generally for those people. And if you have less, you can sometimes get in there, depending on how much room they have. But we had some people that didn't have quite enough, but they want to grow their channels. The problem is that it's really just hard to grow your channel if you don't know anybody, and if you don't have just if you're not lucky, if you don't make a video that really just grabs everybody. And I guess this is not really the video to get into that, because I really should sit down and show you graphs and explain shit using a screen capturing program. Walking around is not the time for that, but what I do want to say is that YouTube is really making an effort to reach out to the video makers and help them improve. So on the other hand, when you hear things by I'm sure everyone has heard that the TOS, not everyone, but many of you have heard that the TOS in YouTube has changed, and now it's getting you can't use bad words, you can't say fuck in your video, and you can't talk about sex at all or do anything sexually suggestive. And they won't, those videos, well, they won't be censored, but they won't be advertised. They won't allow monetization, which means they won't allow advertising for those, right? And the argument is that it is a force of censorship. Well, I don't know, it's like, you're basically saying, well, I'm not gonna pay, you can talk all you want, but we're not gonna pay for that anymore. Is that censorship? I don't think so. I think it's just unfortunate, but it's not censorship. If you're the kind of person who won't do something, won't state your opinion unless you get paid, well, that's your choice. I don't think it's censorship. I mean, it's not fair, you might think, but that's definitely a subjective opinion. But it's not censorship. Censorship is when you are not allowed to talk. I'm sure that a lot of YouTubers, regardless of their size, can make a can make a good controversial video that will get a ton of views, will have no monetization. But again, that is not the only way to grow a channel or to make money. You don't actually have to be monetized through advertising. I mean, you don't actually have to have ads on your videos to actually make money. There are other ways to make money through sponsored people. For example, the Ninja Wi-Fi. NinjaWiFi.com sponsors my videos. They help out with the channel. Just by well, they help out in exchange. I just mentioned them in the videos and give you a link to NinjaWiFi.com, and then you go there and type in GBM for a 10% discount. If you're coming to Japan and you don't have Wi-Fi, check them out. And if I just do that once in a while, it helps out the channel, and it makes things like this just a little easier and a little, you know what? It makes it easier to justify and rationalize to your wife when you're doing it. I mean, the bottom line is I love making these videos, right? And people who do YouTube, most of them really enjoy it. We just really enjoy it. But at the end of the day, you got to bring home the bacon, right? And if you can't do it through YouTube, then you've got to make a decision to do something else. So that's going to take time away from YouTube, right? So while monetization does help with that, when you're much bigger, it's not the majority of it. I know YouTubers who, and I can't really say who they are because it's not my business to spread this information out, though it's true. They make more money from the t-shirts. They make money from gear and sales and things like that than they do from the monetization. They make more from sponsored deals. So being big is important. Getting the subs apparently is much more important than I actually realized. But of course the monetization helps quite a bit. And there are ways around that I've mentioned before. If you like someone and you really want to make sure you want to show them your gratitude and want to make sure they keep making videos, a couple things you can do. One, just write them an email and tell them you appreciate it. You guys wouldn't believe how nice it is to have an email from you saying, hey, I don't have a question, I'm just writing you to say I appreciate your videos. They really brighten my day, whatever. Even if I don't agree with you, you know. Things like that, I get those all the time. I often got that. I don't really agree with half of what you say, but I really like your video, so thanks. Thanks for that. The other thing you can do, of course, is to sponsor the video somehow. For example, if someone has a Patreon, I'm not necessarily talking about me, but a lot of us have Patreons. Go to the Patreon and jump in for $2, or if you like one of the perks that they have. For example, in my case, if you're looking for Japanese lessons and you want to spring for the $150 a month Skype lessons, then you can do that. We've got 4 people doing that. So things like that really help keep a channel independent and going. Because if it were honestly, if it were just Google AdSense, then a lot of us would have quit a long time ago. But anyway, that wasn't what the seminar was so much about. Actually, during the seminar, we didn't actually even talk about that. We talked about how to make the channel stronger and how to use the analytics to do little things to help the maker get the viewer to stay on his channel. So that's really what we talked about. Anyway, there's so much more to talk about here. I don't even know where to get started. I mean, we can just go on and on. So I'm gonna wrap up now. My lunch break is almost over, and I've got a long walk still. So I'm gonna be walking a little bit too fast to vlog because I gotta get back to Sakai, which I think is a good 30-minute walk away, and I'm sweating my ass off. So let's switch over to a goodbye mode. Well, that's pretty much it for today. Just a little bit of a walk and talk. Hope you got something out of it. I'm not sure what this was. It was pretty random. The YouTube party was great. I do have a lot of footage and a lot of pictures of that. Maybe the photographs I'll throw at the end of the party, at the end of this. But actually for me, it was mostly a work day, because even though we do host a party, we've got to go and set up for the party, and then YouTube was really cool. They gave us all these t-shirts to give away to people. We ended up giving away 20 t-shirts and a bunch of mugs and cups, and everybody got a notebook who came to the party. A little cute YouTube notebook, and that was really cool. Really cool of YouTube to do that, so I really appreciate that. And the people who made that possible at YouTube, and I won't say their names because they might not want me to. I don't know how much they want me to say, but Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, guys. More videos coming soon as usual. And if you have any questions, please write me at askgimmeabreakman.com and I will answer your questions. If you have any ideas, you can do that there too. Bye.